name is Mary Asante, and I'm very delighted to host this panel moderation session. Our session today is centered on the topic, building a personal brand that opens doors. And I strongly believe that this topic is very essential for every young person seated in this room today. We live in a world where what you know is very important, but how you communicate who you are, what you stand for, and the vision you bring to the table often influences the kind of opportunities that come your way. So today, we would like to examine and explore the different angles and perspectives of personal branding, from career development to leadership to entrepreneurship, social impact, and STEM. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce my panelists who will join me today for our session on personal branding. Our first panelist is a mining engineer, entrepreneur, and philanthropist who has built a career in a field where women are often underrepresented, and she is also the founder of the AA Foundation. With a resounding round of applause, help me welcome Miss Portia Owusu. Please, let's do it better for her. Thank you. So, our next panelist brings experience from the world of business, real estate, and entrepreneurship, where trust and reputation are critical to success. Please help me welcome Mr. Hamza Umar of Umak Real Estate and Construction Limited. Thank you. Our third panelist brings a strong perspective on leadership, social impact, and service. He is the project director of Watchery Ghana and the founder of the Godfred Echampong Foundation. With a resounding round of applause, help me welcome Mr. Godfred Echampong. Oh, okay. He won't be joining us today for this session. That's fine. So finally, we have someone who brings the perspective of academia, business, education, and career development. He's a lecturer at the KNUST School of Business. And as someone who has had the privilege to sit in the classroom to learn from him, I'm particularly excited about this session. With a round of applause, help me welcome Dr. Dufour. Thank you very much. And I think I'll hand over to the next moderator to introduce his panelists. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Mary Asante. At this point, I would love to call upon Mr. Wilfred Ado to also introduce his panel members. Let's give it up for him as well.
Thank you very much. I understand that we've learned so much from the beginning of the summit, and we want to handle another very practical session in the next panel discussion. So I would want to invite to the panel Madam Agnes Ivy Harrison. Please, Madam, kindly join the panelists. And then I would also like to invite Dr. Ernest Aki to the panel. So Madam Agnes Ivy Harrison happens to be a commercial manager at Stanbic Bank. And then Dr. Aki happens to be a research support fellow at K University. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. So we would love to start with the personal branding discussion session. So we actually understand that personal branding is not only about posting yourself on social media, getting the likes, it goes far beyond that. And I'm very excited to have my panelists here because I wouldn't want to have this session with any other group of people than my wonderful and amazing panelists with us here today. So Dr. Dufour, I would actually love to start with you, because I believe you've had the opportunity to interact with so many students and very young people, and you as a lecturer, you would have a very close view of what it means to transition from the world of university into the world of work. So my first question to you, sir, Doc, is from your experience in the lecture halls at KNUST, what are the 3 key elements students must build into their personal brand to stand out to employers in 2026? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity once again. And I would like to thank the organizers. First, I think that as students, you need to build yourself in the area of personal branding, because it goes a long way to have an impact in what you've gone through as a student in the university. Firstly, you need to build on what we call soft skills. I think most of you are not aware of that, and you are not able to self-realize what you stand for. You are not able to build on your communication. You are not able to relate to people. So I think soft skills is one of the areas in which you can be able to build upon in order to go forward in your career. Secondly, I think we've talked much about networking, and then also branding, and also to say that yes, I believe that networking is good, but I always try to use myself as an example. Back then, when I just got back to Ghana, I remember that my parents were even saying that I need to put down my PhD and try to use my BSc just to work. But I told them, no. You need to see people so that you can get work in Ghana. Yes, networking is good, but you need to believe in yourself. So what I did was that I started trying to build a brand for myself, whereby I was trying to solve assignments, homeworks for other people that are quite having some challenges with it. And I should say this, and that's the truth. I did not come to KNUST because I knew someone. There was no network here. I don't know anyone. I just put in my CV, and my value really did the work for me. So I think that, yes, networking is good. You could be able to have people that could be able to, just endorse you. But I think that you should be able to have some value for yourself. Then again, I keep on saying that you need to get experience. Mostly as students, very soon you'll be going out. And I keep saying the real world is something that you are going to face. And what you need to do during your school days is you need to be doing internships. I always keep advising you. Internships in your field that you do, or not just your field. You could try to just engage yourself with the woman, the man, who is going a long way to affect you on social media. And you need to know how to communicate. You need to know how to socialize. You need to know the kind of words you put out there, because even when you'd want to travel, now in the US, they are trying to, try to look at whatever your social media handles, whatever you are doing, whether you have been saying some sort of dirty words or whatever to the United States, and that can deprive you from getting visas. All right. So I think that we should look at how we communicate, how we try to connect with people, and that will really go a long way in helping us our careers. Yes.
Thank you very much. Please let's give it up for Dr. Dufour. Please, you can do better. Thank you. So I would want to hand over to my co-moderator.
Thank you very much for that. Madam Magnus, I would like to ask you a question. So I have made a sincere observation, and one of the things that I have learned so far, and I've realized so far, is that you can't hold a vivid financial conversation with an average youth without having to water it down, like bringing it down to just mere things, 1 + 2. I don't know if Please, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So you would have to tell them you have to get money for this and then use it for that. And then you pay them this amount of money and then they give you a balance of this. That is what the average youth is exposed to. But I don't know, I might be wrong. So from where you sit at the bank, how do you see financial literacy in the youth in Ghana?
Okay, so thank you so much for this question and the opportunity to share insights with the youth of Obuasi. Now, financial literacy is somehow overstated and then somehow understated. There's a level of financial awareness that we all have. We know there's money, there's Momo, you have cash, you have bank accounts. People know about cryptocurrencies and FX trading. They know about it. Now, financial literacy is saying that what do you know specifically about these instruments? Do you know interest? Do you know savings? Do you know how to invest? Do you know how to put your money back? Do you know how to balance yourself as a person? The accountants here, I'm sure, would understand balancing yourself. You know. But then what I think changes the dial is financial intelligence. So you may know interest rate, that treasury bill is going for 5%. What does that mean to you? How do you apply that knowledge in improving your life? And so that's where I find that the awareness is there. Financial literacy is catching up, but awareness is going faster than the literacy. And then you can guess that the intelligence bit is very slow paced. There are a lot of young people who are doing businesses, and the Gen Zs are very business minded. So they are doing businesses here and there whilst they're in school. They see a lot of money coming through their accounts. But the question is, do they even know how much money they are making? How much profit they are churning out? What to do with the money that is coming in? How are they working on checking the suppliers' end and then their customers, their inventory, all that? So all that bit is what we would put into the intelligence bit. And I believe that at least with a cursory look around, we should be okay with financial literacy in some way, to a certain extent. But the little that you know, it's very important that we seek more knowledge and more aptitude in turning it around to make our lives better. Let me give you an instance. One thing that our task has to do from here is to do your net worth as a person. So at the end of every month, just check your total assets as a person, an individual. That is the things you own, the things which are for you, the bank balances, valuable things that you think you have. Put all that together. And then consider your liabilities. That's the Momo loans you've been taking, when you borrow from your friend and all that. So what you do is a personal assessment. You do your assets minus your liability. Now, when you do that, you are going to get what we call your net worth as a person. After getting the net worth, the point is, now you know that, okay, my net worth is really zero or negative. That is if you even owe more than you are supposed to own. Then the question is, how do I move from a negative net worth, or how do I move from a zero net worth to the millions? That is when you start thinking of wealth creation, because else you would just be hovering around the same net worth, because same money comes in and you spend, and you think you're actually increasing your expenditure, but really you're not building anything.
Thank you very much for that. I would like to ask a follow-up question. I personally decided not to speak to any accountant until I am, let's say, 30, or until I've been able to make $1 million. Because the last time I had a conversation with an accountant, the person asked me, he used to be a financial controller in a very big company. So, with regards to what he's exposed to as far as finances are concerned, I ran a printing business struggling. to break the even. Yes, and then he asked me, how much do you make? How much do you save in a day? And then, what are your projectives? What are your plans? The only thing he told me is that, I think you are a civil engineer by profession. You study civil engineering. Why don't you quit the whole business thing? Leave it in the hands of someone. Let someone manage it for you. Then you find a job. Then the job handles the business as well. So I want to ask, as a young entrepreneur here, that you are running a business, at what point does your chat have to tell you that you've done enough? Do something else. Or at what point does it try to tell you that maybe what you are doing might not really end up as you think? So how do you notice that? And what do you do about that?
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for this question. And it's quite an interesting one. Earlier this afternoon, we had a conversation where we talked about passion and then making money. And I remember the panel member advised, and I agree with that advice, that you have to use your income generating activity to fuel or fund your passion. Because you see, when you are passionate about something, you are so blinded to all the objectivities around it. And so you may end up going to borrow to fund it and all that. That's going to even sink you further in debt. But you have to use one arm of it to fund the rest. Now, back to the question about how do you know when it's not working? That's a question, right? When it's not working and whether you need to pull out.
Because at a point, you have to believe in it and be determined, as we've been hearing today. So when do you know you have to stop and do something else?
Well, so the passion is everything. Now, when you're also starting a business, that's why you need mentors. Mentorship is also very important. You see, passion can take you very far, but not as far as you have mentors guiding you. There's one thing in business we call the business life cycle. The engineers and the mathematicians would know, like the sinusoidal curve, it goes up and down. So it starts from the zero line and goes up. That's when you start the business, the exciting phase, everything is going on so well for you, and you're injecting more energy and all that. Then you get to the peak, a very small peak, and you think you are there. But then life happens, the environment happens, COVID can happen suddenly. The political regime can change. There are so many external factors that your mentor or your business consultant would advise you to note. So if you don't have such kind of mentorship or such level of exposure, you won't expect these things to happen. Now, when those breaking points happen, in fact, you will sink lower than expected. But you have to understand that this is also part of the business. In fact, it is a life cycle, and you need to go through it and come out of it, learn the lessons in the very difficult moments, and then build an even bigger business at the top. So mentorship is so, so important. If you cannot afford a consultant, you need a mentor to guide you in your business journey, because the passion would go. There are times you would want to give up. The financial stress would come. The systems and the regulations and all the regulators would also rise up against you. But at the end of the day, it is someone holding your hand, and then what's driving you, which will take you far. And I must commend this generation of youth. It's amazing how you see them. Sometimes, I mean, they are going through a very rough patch, and I've counseled a few of them, and you'd notice that, okay, they have to pause, reassess the entire business plan, and then make some changes here and there so that they will be able to accommodate the success which is coming. So believe in yourself. We have said this before. I'll also say this. Believe in yourself, seek support and mentorship, and then let the passion also drive you. But don't let the passion blind you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, I'll hand over to my co-moderator.
Thank you very much. So I would love to ask Miss Portia this question. So your story is very interesting to me, and I believe to many other young women seated here. You find yourself in a field where women are very often underrepresented. Mining and engineering are mostly male-dominated, So my question to you today is, how did you intentionally build a personal brand that commands respect while staying authentic to yourself as a woman? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. So thank you for the question. Personally, I'll use myself as an example because I was once like you, or I'm still like you or here. So permit me to use myself a lot. And so I believe that personal branding comes with three things or three parts. The first one is competency, the second one is consistency, and then the last one is authenticity. I don't know if you buy into the idea of what I'm saying. So personally, at work or anywhere I find myself, I make sure that the quality of my work shows. I make sure that wherever I find myself or the work I'm doing, I know what I'm doing. I have the competency. And then my professionalism too, I don't joke with it. And then when it comes to my value not because I'm a mining engineer, but then I make sure that, or I'm very intentional about anything that I do, the way I carry myself, the way I present myself anywhere. It's not necessarily at the workplace, but then even outside the workplace, what I do. And so I believe that personal branding has three things: your competency, your consistency, and your authenticity. Thank you.
Please let's give it up for her. Thank you very much. So please, I would also like to know, Ms. Foshowusu, that has there ever been a point in your career where you had to prove yourself so much because you are a woman? And if it happened, how did you navigate that situation? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So with the question, I think I've had an experience currently at the workplace. I'm a shift boss. I don't know if you understand what shift boss is. Basically, it's a leadership role. So you are leading about 50 plus people underground. They report to you. They make sure that anytime they face any challenges, you are the person they contact before you report it to your manager. And so working with mostly they are all males. And so you being a female, leading about 50 plus people is not easy. I tell you, when you asked the question, I just remembered some experience I had way back. And so Anglo Gold Ashanti permit me to dive into the work as well. We pay our values. There is no way you come to Anglo Gold Ashanti and then you won't pass through the core values of the company. Whether you like it or not, definitely the values will shape you. Claudia would attest to it. It will shape you. And so when I was given the opportunity to be the shift boss, I'm still under training though. I make sure that I use the values, or I set values for myself as a female, because I know the role that I'm going in for and then the task ahead of me. And so with integrity, of course, because you are in the midst of male. And so if you don't take care, they will try to create problems for you. And so you have to be transparent in everything that you do. You have to be honest with anything that happened during the shift. With respect, of course, you're a woman or you're a lady. You find yourself in the midst of males. Let's say even at home, we respect our fathers. They said fathers are the head of the family. And so when you are underground, although you have the authority, or the MD has given you the authority to lead the males underground, but yet you have to respect them. And then that respect should be reciprocal. When you respect them, they will also respect you. And then you have to create that environment for them to be conducive to come to you anytime they are facing any challenges. If not, trust me, when you're a leader and you don't give that environment, or you don't create that environment for your people, there's no way they are going to help you win. Definitely, if there are issues that they can help you solve, they will rather sit back and watch you struggle. And so please, we have to be cautious or intentional about how we brand ourselves as a male or let's say female in the industry. I mean, with the core values, you can think of integrity, respect, excellence, collaboration. Of course, collaboration is very key as a leader. Excellence and then sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, if you do not create a conducive environment for your followers, they will start working against you instead of working with you. So I would love to hand over to my co-host.
Thank you. So I will be moving on to Dr. Aki. Dr. Aki, according to my data, you happen to be the agribusiness expert on this panel. So I would want us to do a very short thing, something very short. So I would like to ask our people, please, how many of us here would once want to be into agriculture? Maybe you would want to get into agriculture. Please show by hand. Okay, thank you very much. Kindly put your hands down for me. So, Dr. Aki,
Yes.
you have the data, you have the charts, you do the research, you are much into agriculture. From the show of hands, how do you see the future of Ghana in terms of agriculture and agribusiness?
All right. So thank you so much. And then good afternoon once again to all our people gathered here and to the organizers of the program. And when we talk of agriculture in our sphere, I believe that it's got to do more about our perception towards the profession. Okay. I read agribusiness in school. All my degrees are in agribusiness. And so it's a common balance when we're in SHS doing agri. When people see us, they will now be calling you, there is money in the soil. You have hope in the soil. You know, those kind of names. But I can tell you that there are a lot of big people who are into agriculture. Very, very big people. I mean, in 2021, I had a shock of my life when I had opportunity to meet someone who worked in the mining industry, rose up to the highest level, and was going into agriculture. And so I also run a consultancy. I do business plans for agribusinesses. And so I had engagement with this man, and he was willing to stop the mining business and then go into full-time agriculture. And as we speak now, he has stopped. He's having over 150,000 beds, layer beds, a whole lot of other things, fish farming, greenhouse, and a whole lot of things. I get the opportunity to, go there to look at his books, and it is amazing. There are a lot of politicians, a lot of lawyers, many people who are into agriculture. And so the issue with us is the perception we have about agriculture. Mostly when we start from class 1, class 2, they ask us, what do you want to be in future? I'm sure none of us, in fact, myself, I didn't say I want to become a farmer, even though my father was a farmer. I want to be a pilot. How many of us are pilots now? You hear, I want to be an engineer, I want to be this, I want to be that. But hardly will you hear anyone say that I want to be a farmer. But I can bet you that there are some people here right now, your stomach is doing some way because since morning, you have not eaten. And if we delay here, you might hold Clinton and the entire team. You hold your neck. And so I believe that the issue we have is the perception. Now, from my agribusiness point of view, I can tell you that you don't need to go to the farm before you can contribute to agriculture. All right? As I speak to you now, currently I don't have any farm existing, but I do a lot of engagement when it comes to agriculture and agribusiness. Recently on TikTok, I saw a young man who went to Techiman market and then in Kranza market was showing videos about yams. And the yam market, very big markets, and all yams all over. The issue is we are looking for just someone that can go there with a truck, get the yams to places that they are looking for yams. I was on a research about 2 weeks ago. We visited some remote areas. You go there, you see maize. You go there, you see beans. You go there, you see commodities. Yet, how they will travel into the town is the problem. We are looking for people that can, create logistics companies, create some of these agri-tech innovations that can connect farmers to buyers. And you can make your money out of that. You don't necessarily need to own the farm before you can make money from agriculture. So for me, I think that where we should pay attention to is the perception. If you are a young person here, you can do whatever profession you want to engage in and still go into agriculture. I saw lawyer raising their hands when you asked about who want to go into agriculture. So please, it's something that all of us should embrace. And we are very lucky. All the land around us, if you put the commodities there, they will come. So let's embrace that, and then I believe that I'm able to go along with your us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aki. I would want to ask you a question. So, looking at the number of people that raised up their hands, I believe if we are to go onto the field and then see the number of people that would make it to the field, and then the number of people that would make it to growing crops or seedlings, and then the number of people that would get to the harvest field, what do you see? What do you think? Where do you think people fall out? I mean, young people. Is it at the ideation stage? Because let's say I have ideas for agriculture and I've been brooding on it, but I might end up just brooding on ideas without doing anything. And there is someone that has ideas. Okay, the person gets a land, begins to do something, engage some farmers or something, and the person drops out at a point. And then there are people that grow seeds. And then when it gets to the harvest time, the season for harvest, they feel they are seeing post-harvest losses. So they don't want to continue anymore. Where do you think people fall out in the journey or on the trend? And then how do you think we can work around it? And I would also want to know where the trend is making many young people financially free in terms of agriculture or agribusiness.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. So you see, from all the discussions, right from the speech from MD and all the speakers, they point to one thing. In fact, if you're a young person here, you cannot succeed in any field if you don't prepare yourself. Every field requires skills. And once you lose out on skills, be rest assured that you lose out on the benefit as well. And agriculture is one of the areas that if you have not gained the necessary skills, try not to venture into those areas. I know people who invested their pension benefit into agriculture and then they died because the losses were so much that they couldn't get anything. And then out of thinking and all those things, they passed out. And so first of all, if you are here, you want to venture into something like agriculture, please don't go in there naive. Don't go in there vague, not having any knowledge about the field. You will not, if, for instance, you go to a hospital and then you are sick, after narrating all you want to narrate to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, I've not done this before. For instance, you have to go under CS. Well, I've not done this before, but you sleep. Let me try and see what I can do. I'm not sure you will stay there. But you know what? Agric is even more important because what you take in even affects your health. Okay? And so you need to get the skills to be able to go out there to do what? To invest. Madam was talking. You cannot, this agric I'm talking about, I'm not talking about backyard farming. We are talking about business. So you are investing into it. First of all, you need to know if your farm will do well. You should know from your books, your room, before you go to the field. All right, that's where the research I do comes in. If you do well, it should tell you. So that's where we have what we call sensitivity analysis. So when you sit back and you do all these things, plus and minus, you should have a range where you should be, landing. So once you sit back and you realize that, if I don't take care, I'll lose out, then you begin to do your homework well before you even go there. So one, you have to gather the necessary skills. And now, because of these technology issues we have, you can stay at the comfort of your room, watch documentaries, take short courses, even in agriculture, extension-related courses. You don't even need to go to the classroom to learn these things. You can learn them on your own. Now, because of this precision agriculture using drone technology and all these things, it is helping. You can learn all these things on your own. And most importantly, our sister mentioned about collaboration. You are here, you have the capital. I have a lot of people reaching out to me. Hi, I want to go into agriculture. I don't have the knowledge. I want to partner with you. You know, we are putting things together. You don't necessarily need to know all before you can go there. You can locate someone. If you have the capital, you can partner. You can partner with them and then go into that. So skills is important. Collaboration, partnership is important. And also you need to have a plan, business plan, so that when you are going in, the volume of money that will be coming to you. Other than that, you will miss out. And lastly, as young people, one of the emerging trends that we can take advantage of, like agri-tech. Now, because of these technology issues, there are a lot of, things that are coming up when it comes to agri-tech, happen to facilitate a lot of MasterCard programs where they fund people who are into agri-tech, who are able to use phones to do things, they're able to use applications to do things. That's what, is trending now. Okay, you can be here, you'll be monitoring your animals, you can be here, you can feed your chicks, you can be here, you can irrigate your farm, you can do everything from your phone. And so that's something that we should also look up to. And then another thing is processing. Now, since time immemorial, all that we think about is produce, and sell. But a lot of people don't go into processing. So you see some people starting something, but we can do more. Okay, we can do more. And so these are areas that I believe that if you read more about investing, it can fetch you money as a young person. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Doc. Please, I will hand over to... Okay.
Thank you. You know, as a banker, whenever I hear opportunities, there's financing opportunities I'd like to throw in. And Doc mentioned about the MasterCard programs. So Agric is so important in the country that MasterCard Foundation is sponsoring and supporting youth in business and then people in agri-businesses. Now, it's the entire value chain of agric. So you produce, you process, you package, technology. In fact, down to the restaurants. We have people who are restaurant owners and they are taking advantage of these opportunities. I'm letting you know this because the financing opportunities, it comes at a concessionary interest rate. So it's quite low for businesses. But you see, Doc also mentioned about having a plan, know what it is, and then your cash flows. When you come to the bank or when you're assessing financing, we would like to assess your understanding of what you are doing and then how you expect to repay the funds. So that's why you need people like Doc in your circle to guide you. It comes back to collaboration and mentorship. And also the business life cycle I mentioned, because Doc will tell you most of the time our businesses or the agric products or agric cycle, it's about 1 year, 365 days. And so at least you should have gone through a whole cycle of a year to have experienced some shocks and weaknesses in the system so that when you now step in to expand or you move to the next level, you would have experienced it before. So that's my 2 cents on it. Financing is available. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Mr. Umar, still on the topic of personal branding, we all know that in real estate, trust is currency. People often buy your trust even before they think of buying a property. So I would love to know, or we would love to know, that how have you used personal branding to position yourself and your company as trustworthy in a very competitive market? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizers for putting up this program. To see youth seated from morning to this time and willing to listen to what we are saying is a big news for me. So put your hands together for yourself. Yeah. So before I answer this particular question, it's very big. When you talk about real estate and we are dealing with youth, sometimes we need to break it down to their basic understanding so that they can also pick from what we are talking about. We are talking about branding, we are talking about business, we are talking about real estate. And I'm going to also talk about value. But before we look at branding, you must be providing value. Because you cannot say you are doing any branding without providing value. What are you doing? If you are dressing, it's not branding, no. So it means that there must be some kind of value in front of you to even talk about branding. So first of all, let me speak to the conscience of our new generation, the social generation. Most of the time, we are so quick to take pictures with wealthy people, rich men, successful people. But there's one thing we lack. Whenever we get the opportunity to get closer to the rich people, we are quick to count their achievement, their cars, the shoes they wear, whatever they have, physical things. But the reality is that that is not the wealth, or that is not the treasure. The treasure is that it's your mind getting closer. The picture with the rich man does not mean that you are rich. It only means that your body, your physical body, stood next to greatness. But has your mind moved any closer? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. So some of the questions we need to first of all ask ourselves when we get the opportunity to meet such people is, one, what are some of the values you live by? What are the principles that shapes you? What are the challenges we went through to become who you are? How were you able to navigate through the pains, the difficulties, the rejection to become what? These are the treasures. So before we talk about branding, let's look at how people has people been able to be successful with their branding. First of all, I'm sitting here as a Omak Real Estate CEO, and I didn't get there by chance, right? I went through a whole lot. I started mobile money. This mobile money, you people think it's nothing, right? I was the one doing it. I do it for people. Moved from there, whilst doing that, I started Coastal, Omak Meat House. We were doing it back and forth. Then we added another business, phones and accessories. We got 3 phones and accessories, 4 phones and accessories. Omak Meat House collapsed. Why? Because we were paying too much attention to other business when we neglected. So all these steps were things that made me understood business and how branding actually works. I never understood what we call branding in terms of business. I thought that branding is just wearing nice shirts and trying to do settings. I thought that was branding, but that was never the case, to be honest with you. So I really want you to really understand me so well from the real practice, or how I started from the infant of my business. Some people say, oh, I was doing a small, I started washing plates and I became this rich. It is true. I believe it. Yes. It may be that the little money he got from washing plates made him establish a little thing. That little thing made him met one big man. That made him met another person for him to get to that stage you are seeing. So when he's saying that, he's telling you that sometimes wherever you are, the little money you have in your pocket, you can do something. One guy came to me and said, Hamza, I really want to be like you. I want to be a businessman. What advice can you tell me? Or what is the solution? I told him, what do you want to do? He said, I want to do printing press. I said, how much is your money? I said, I have 5,000 Ghana cedis. You see, 5,000 Ghana cedis, do you know what you can do? You can do a lot of business with the 5,000 Ghana cedis. I told him, where you are, is there a cocoa seller there? He said, oh, no, it's just one joint to be there. I said, okay, look, that junction, I realized that there is a free, when you put up a cocoa joint there, people will buy. Today, he has 3 branches, plus the money, the printing press he was doing. But how? He didn't just jump to the printing press. He did something he could do with the money available, then save within some time, then did what he actually wanted to do. In my life, I had always wanted to do real estate, but I didn't have the money to do real estate. However, I knew what I wanted from real estate. I didn't just want to be an agent, chase people there and say, Mami Nanti Siga. No, I realized that no, that affects my brand. This is where brand also falls. My identity. What are the things I really want to do? I don't want to do an agent. I want to do a developer. So can you, if you are going to actually be a developer, then it means that you actually need to provide value. But the money that I'm supposed to take an acre and start houses was difficult. So I started all these phones and accessories, mobile money, all this OMAC to get there. So the day I wanted to start my real estate company, there was one brilliant student I had in my class then in the University for Development Studies. I was then the National Union of Ghana student in the University for Development Studies. I'll talk about that, but when I called the guy that he should come and then assist me, because he initially came to me that he wanted me to employ him to join my OMAC phones and accessories, because I needed a supervisor for all the 3 shops, because the work was tedious for me. You get it? So when he came, I said, no, this guy, he was very sharp in our class, so let me bring him to the real estate. But then, so when he came, he wanted to be at the phone and accessory, but I realized that no, the real estate, I can pay you better here. But I didn't see that these are some of the things you people lack. You want the flashy things. No. Do you know why he wanted to be at the phone and accessories? You know that he can get free chargers, free hands-frees, airport, and all that for free. But then I was looking at something different. The office we wanted to use for the real estate, it was one room, just one room. Some basa room view. If I have to tell you, some one room basa view, one chair, one table. So when he came, I said, let me add one chair so that you sit here and I'll sit here. This is how we are going to. So I said, but how are we going to come through and be able to build? You said we are not going to do agents, but we are going to be developing houses. I said, yes, we are going to do that. We met some chiefs, we spoke to them. I said, I want 15 acres. They said 15 acres. We were talking about 320 billion Ghana cedis, old currency, you're saying. The guy was there, he was confused. Immediately we left that meeting, the next day he didn't come to work. Because he thought that I was joking, I was fooling. But I sat in the office alone, did my marketing in the office as a marketer, as a manager, as a secretary. Within 3 months in the office alone, I sold one property. That was my breakthrough. That was aside. Right? Can't you clap for me? I did well then. So I wanted to have a long session with you and have one-on-one conversation with you that you can really relate, because most of the things I'm going to say, if I don't bring it down, maybe you might not understand, and it will be like too ambiguous to even relate. So I'm trying as much as possible to break it down. You see, before you become a lawyer, a doctor, or a nurse, there is a body of knowledge you need to go through for you to become that person, right? You need to go through, if you become a doctor, go to university for 6 years. It's not free. And you do, I think, a service on top, right? 7 years. So when you want to become successful, when you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to go through similar education. When I was the National Union of Ghana student president in 2020, just before the COVID-19 hit the world, I had the opportunity to attend an American Association Entrepreneurship Summit and Leadership Summit in Dubai, because I was trying to bring some kind of initiative in university as I was the youth president. But when I went there, I also took the opportunity to attend some summit. It was a world-class business summit, and I had the opportunity to sit one-on-one with one of the leading businessmen who owned businesses around 6 continents in the world. And I asked him, I want to be successful in my business. What can I do? And he said something that changed my life. He said something very fascinating. He said, the issue is not about the wealth. The issue is about becoming. And I was like, this hit me so hard. The issue is about becoming. Oh, really? So ask yourself, there are some people here, if we give you 100,000 Ghana cedi to take it home, right? To take it home, I swear you cannot sleep. You close the door, close the window, make sure that the compound door is closed. You put the money under your bed. You still wake up and check whether the money is there or not. Am I lying? It is true, because your spirit is not there. He told me that you see the version of you right now, if we give you whatever you are asking for, you can't handle it, because it comes with challenges. So before I give the mic, there are 2 things, as I was talking about value before branding. There are 4 body of knowledge all of us need to go through to understand whether we are looking for proper branding in entrepreneur business, whatever, any career, there are 4 body of knowledge we need to go through to be able to succeed at it. One is personal knowledge. Personal knowledge has to do with assessing yourself, your SWOT analysis. I hope you know SWOT analysis, your strength, your weakness, opportunity, and threat. Assess it. Understand yourself. One, there is something we call known and unknown self. There's known self. You know that you are this, you can write, you can, but there are unknown self. Some people tell you that, look, Clinton, this is how you are. There are certain things you do I don't like. You see, those things, you also need to pay attention to them. That makes you understand self well. Another body of knowledge we need to understand when it comes to branding, whilst we are putting together whatever career we are doing, is spiritual knowledge. Most people tend to neglect this. Whatever happened in the physical world, happened in the spiritual world. Let's not play with that. You see, whatever is happening in the physical world has already happened in the spiritual world. It is better to join the devil and be a committed worshipper of the devil than to be in between. I'm telling you. There's nothing like me go come be a yes, you must be with God or be active devil worshipper, because the devil can protect you from where you are going, or God will protect you from where you're. So don't take it out. Spiritual education is very important. Another education we need to talk about is academic education. The academic education is what most of us go through. We have certificates that will take you most places, but it will not change your life, your entire life. It will maybe open doors for you. You'll be able to read and write, add simple mathematics. And the final education you need is financial education and knowledge of the market, right? Financial education and knowledge of the market. I wouldn't want to talk much about this because I wanted to have a long session with you people. When we talk about financial education and knowledge about the market, you see, there are different careers we can all talk about, right? When you talk about branding, there are medical profession and there are medical business. Somebody is in medical business, somebody is in medical profession. Don't get it twisted. Somebody is supplying the hospital all the equipment you need at the hospital and taking big money, but somebody is there diagnosing people. I hope you are right. I hope you are getting my point. Very good. The person who will go on strike is the doctor, not the person doing the business of hospital. Isn't it so? Somebody is a doctor and somebody owns the whole hospital. There's 2 different things here. The person, one person is doing business, one person is giving service. Isn't it so? So understand, branding, you need to really understand who you are, where you are going, and how you must approach where you want to, what will come to you before getting to wherever you want to go. I get my point. So please, when it comes to branding and business and all that, I wish we had so much time. I'm sorry I came late. I wanted to have a lengthy conversation with you and give you a practical example and a practical knowledge as to how we can move from 1 to 2 as a young generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's give it up for Mr. Omar. So unfortunately, my MC just alerted me that our time is fast spent and we have to bring the session to an end. But I still believe there are so many questions we would love to ask our wonderful panelists. So after the session, we can meet them one-on-one and talk to them. But before we bring our session to an end, I would love to hear our final words from all our panelists, starting from Dr. Dufour. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to make it very brief. And I think that we, as young people growing up, you have very vast opportunities out there. You need to embrace it. You need to really put a value on yourself. And you need to make what you've learned in class, make it speak in the outside world, and that is going to help you. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so for me, my final words to us or to both of us is that we have to be excellent at whatever we do. In as much as we are students, we have to make sure that anywhere we find ourselves, we are excellent there. We have to build a genuine relationship and network opportunity. in a sense that as you came for this program, we have lots of notes speakers here. You had their contact, you exchanged contact, but it shouldn't end there. You have to learn how to continue being in touch with them. You shouldn't go or approach them with or asking them for jobs, but then you can create that environment, like I said, you create that connection with them so that at the end of the day, we will all meet at the top. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much. So for me, for my final words, what I would like of us to carry from this summit is build a strong character. Build a strong character. You can have all the financial education there is. You can have all the academic education. You can have all these personal branding issues. But if you have character defects, you will go nowhere. How you talk, how you speak to people, how you relate with people as a young person will go a long way to either take you up or bring you down. So let's check our character and let's check our conduct. Thank you.
My final word will be that you can never drift into your desired destination. You need to be very intentional about whatever you want to do. And it starts from now. The time is not by your side. It starts from now. Take the opportunity. Approach things. Whatever you want to do, start now. You can.
Okay. So my final words are as expected on money. Know that money has rules about how it comes to you, how you use it, and how it leaves you. There are rules about it. How money comes to you, how you use it, and how it leaves you. Learn about these things and be practical about them. And I'll not end without saying mentorship. Let's reach out. You do not know everything. Some of us have walked the path. Let us use our experience to guide you. We are all open to guide and provide the necessary mentorship. Be available to be a mentee, and I believe that you would go far if you reach out.